Okay, we're going to go to Jim Gray now. Let's go to Lexington. It looks like Jim Gray is walking out. Maybe not out just yet. This is at Manchester Music Hall in Lexington. And usually the loser speaks first. Tonight we saw Rand Paul come out, and he's already given his victory speech tonight. But we are awaiting Jim Gray to talk. And Gray, again, not really a surprise. Most polls showed that Rand Paul always had a strong lead in this race, double-digit leads, so not really a surprise. And you go back to the beginning before Jim Gray announced he was running, there was a time when we weren't sure if Democrats would really pick a credible candidate. They had a hard time finding one.
Well, you know, they were looking at a number of people to run, and we heard a lot of names out there. But, you know, Jim Gray is a good candidate. Yes. I think it's probably just the time in Kentucky that it's going to be very hard for a Democrat, at least on the national level right now, to run. I think you're going to see Jim Gray, although he declined to really talk about that earlier with Angela. But I think you may see Jim Gray run for something else down the line.
I think that's possible, but I also think he's probably happy as Lexington mayor too. And I've talked to people that live in Lexington that may not necessarily have the same politics as Jim Gray that have told me he's been a good mayor. You know, I think his political career is definitely not over. Of course, he's still Lexington mayor for some time after today. So again, we're waiting to hear Jim Gray there in Lexington. And just a reminder, there are a lot of local races tonight. You see some city council races at the bottom of your screen, a coroner's race in Letcher County, a district judge's race in Harlan County, a circuit judge's race in Letcher County. As those results come in, we are putting those at the bottom of your screen and on our website, WYMT.com. But the key ones we're focusing on tonight, obviously this U.S. Senate race, which Rand Paul has won, presidential race obviously, and a handful of state house races, and the biggest headline so far is that House Speaker Greg Stumbo has lost tonight, and that's a political shocker across the state. Any idea, if you could tell me when Jim Gray is expected to speak? Are we going to hang in here or go back to CBS? Okay, we're told he's going to come out any second, so we'll just stay right here. And then once Jim Gray has given his speech, we'll get you right back to CBS News presidential election coverage. Let's, and it looks like, well, there's Crit Llewellyn, former lieutenant governor. Let's just listen in to what she has to say.
Hello, Lexington, and hello, all of Kentucky. You know, even when there are dark clouds, there are reasons to celebrate. And tonight we are celebrating this great democracy that we all live in and how it works so well for us time after time when the people come out and speak their voice. It doesn't always work out the way we want it to, but that's what this democracy is about, is people having the freedom of choice and the freedom of voice. And we also celebrate tonight the value of public service and the value of public servants like Jim Gray, who were a leader of high integrity and vision, who was willing to step forward and make the great sacrifices that are necessary in a race like this one to help lead Kentucky forward. Jim Gray's roots go deep in Kentucky, with generations of his forebearers making their mark in Glasgow and Barron County. He first proved his mettle as CEO of Gray Construction, helping to propel the family company into what is now one of the nation's largest builders of major manufacturing facilities. Gray Construction is a great American success story, and Jim Gray is a great American success story. He understands what it means to put every ounce of your personal strength in achieving a vision and fulfilling a dream. That's what he's done in business, and that's what he's done in public service. When Jim took that private sector experience into the public arena and was elected mayor in 2010, He faced a daunting financial crisis, but he took on this community's toughest challenges with a keen intellect and a laser focus. And today he has righted Lexington's financial ship and created a dynamic economy with a focused strategy that's created not just jobs, but quality jobs. When Jim Gray entered the United States Senate race, he honored us all with his willingness to step into the larger arena. He has run this campaign with integrity and with a clear vision of what it will take to address the dysfunction in Washington and to deliver for Kentucky. And he has worked his heart out, delivering that message in every corner of Kentucky. We all owe Jim Gray our heartfelt appreciation for the remarkable campaign that he has run and for his leadership both now and in the future. It is my honor to ask you to help me welcome to the stage the Honorable Jim Gray, Mayor of Lexington.
Hey, everybody. Wow. Good evening, everybody. Well, I decided to begin this campaign because, well, like they say in the Broadway show Hamilton, it was my time to take my shot. Thank you all. And I took it. And even though the results aren't what we'd hoped, I am so glad I took that shot. I want to congratulate Senator Paul on his reelection. We fought hard. The people voted. Now we congratulate him and we move forward. While Senator Paul and I have clear differences, I will continue to work with him whenever possible for the people of Kentucky. And I want to thank so many Kentuckians who've been so good to me over the last few months, starting with the literally thousands of volunteers who've given of their time and talents to this campaign. I'm humbled by the more than 13,000 individual contributors who helped fuel our campaign. And the greatest thank you. And the greatest campaign staff any candidate could have hoped for. And of course, my family and my friends who have stood by me and supported me through this race and my whole life. I also want to thank the citizens of the great city of Lexington for giving me the honor of being your mayor. I look forward to continuing the extraordinary work we are doing right here. We've added 15,000 jobs in the last 6 years. We've moved our city budget from a deficit to surplus. And we've seen incomes go up 13% for our citizens. We are going to work to keep that momentum going. Let's bring more jobs here, even more opportunities, and let's make Lexington and Kentucky even better places to live, to work, to start a business, and raise a family. Now, when I got into this race, a lot of people wondered what kind of reception I would get, and so did I. Now, let me tell you about the reception I've gotten as I traveled thousands of miles across the Commonwealth. From Pikeville to Paducah, from West Louisville to West Liberty, I've talked to thousands of people. And more than that, I listened. I believe God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we talk. And I stand here today knowing Kentucky better and loving Kentucky more than I ever did before. And I've talked to so many people who also love Kentucky and who want to move our state forward. They see the changes happening in the world around us. They understand we cannot keep just preparing for the past. They understand we have to modernize our economy so we're ready for the future. They understand we have to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure in big cities, small towns, and rural communities. We need to encourage entrepreneurship and other opportunities by bringing high-speed internet to every corner of Kentucky. And we have to move forward in our schools so all our kids have the knowledge and skills they need to compete in the global marketplace. So many Kentuckians care deeply about preparing our state for the future because they care about what's going to happen to their kids. And something else, Kentuckians care about each other. I experienced that firsthand, and I'm grateful to the thousands of Kentuckians who welcomed me and offered me nothing but hospitality and respect. I met some unforgettable people on the campaign trail, like the college student who approached me in a coffee shop and just hugged me, and he said, "Thank you for running. I'm gay too." And there have been others. We've seen... Thank you. We have made tremendous progress in our treatment of LGBTQ Americans, but there are still too many kids in our country who grow up feeling like they have to hold on to this secret about who they are, because if anyone finds out, it could cost them everything. There may be fewer of those kids than there used to be, but one is too many. Let's remind ourselves, we are all God's children. And in America, we are all equal under the Constitution. That means that we all deserve our shot. That's the promise and possibility of America, that everybody has a shot. That's the American dream. That's the dream my parents lived, and the company they built has helped thousands of other Americans live that dream. That's what makes our country great. And our country is great today. It was great. Our country was great yesterday, and it will be even greater tomorrow. The future is big enough for all of us. The future has room for everyone who wants to work hard and contribute to the greater good here in Kentucky and all over America. Making sure everybody has a fair shot is what we've been fighting for in this campaign. And let's be clear, elections end, thank goodness. But our work, our mission, it goes on. If you supported me in this race, please join me in continuing to move Kentucky forward. The next session of the Kentucky General Assembly begins January 3rd. Your representatives need to hear from you. There will be local government meetings all over Kentucky. Some of the folks there will be new to their jobs. They need to hear from you. Let them know that you believe in a future that has a place for everyone. Let them know you are paying attention. This is what democracy requires. The founders knew that. In 1789, now you can tell I was a history major. In 1789, John Adams wrote a letter to his son Charles. He was talking about the prospect of running for political office. But his words apply to all of us, even today. Public business, my son, must always be done by somebody, he wrote. If wise men decline it, others will not. If honest men refuse it, others will not. If your representatives don't hear your voices, whose voices will they hear? Who will they listen to as they make decisions that affect us all? So let's continue to speak up and show up and fight for a future that includes everyone. Now let me close with something from the Bible. I grew up, and my family, my brothers and sisters, we grew up in the Disciples of Christ church. And like a lot of Christians, I've always taken comfort in Ecclesiastes 3, which talks about the value of work. And it says this: a man should rejoice in his own works. And of course, it also starts with these classic words: to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. My friends, even though we would have preferred a different outcome in this race tonight, we have earned the right to celebrate the good works we have done in this campaign. And we have earned the right to look ahead with confidence at what comes next. Because, my friends, I promise you, our season is coming. Thank you all. God bless you, each and every one. And God bless the people of Kentucky. Thank you all.
Jim Gray, not really looking too somber. I think he probably knew what was coming tonight, giving his concession speech there in Lexington. Of course, he will remain Lexington's mayor. Rand Paul defeating Lexington Mayor Jim Gray tonight.